Hi ladies and gentlemen, Sean Davies with Coloradoreinsman. I'm here in Berthoud, Colorado today with a very special mare. This is Carmelita. Carmalita was a finalist here at the Loveland Extreme Mustang Makeover in 2015. And she is a big, beautiful Oregon Mustang. She's probably got some draft in her way back. She's a big horse, very sweet. She's young and very athletic. So I'm here. She's owned by Hector and Charlotte Bravo here in Berthoud. They adopted her at the makeover. And since I'm local, her trainer is out of state. And since I'm local, Charlotte gave me a call and come and check her out. And she's a really nice horse. What we're doing is continuing her education. Let me tell you, I've done 4 Extreme Mustang Makeovers, and it's very difficult to get a finished horse out of 100 days. So she's really come so far from, you know, being in a holding pen in that time. But now we're taking her education up to the next level. Really been working on getting her a little bit more fluid on the ground. And then I've just started riding her, and I'm just starting to teach her some exercises that are going to help relax her and loosen her up a little bit, allow her to get her forward going a little bit more smoothly. So, you know, we're gonna start off just doing you know, some of our basic groundwork and our exercises, and then I'm going to go ahead and get up on her. So first off, I'm just going to start warming her up on the ground with my halter. And these are things you're going to have seen many times. The only thing different today is I have my new hat on. I'm going to ask her to back up. I'm going to direct her over. Now her right side tends to be her bracy side. And she's gotten a lot better, because she'd just stand there and look at me when I worked her with that flag at first. And now she's getting a little bit more fluid. She's got a lot of balancing to learn, how to shape up. See, I got to motivate her a little bit right there. Good. You can see every now and then she'll try to push on me or push that shoulder in, and I just fix her up a little bit, raise that lead rope, drive that hip, get her shaped right there, take the pressure off. And now, 1, 9, or 10 on that pressure scale is so much better when you get the right result. There, that's easier. Good girl. Come through here. Come through here. She's sticky right there. She's sticky. I'm going to tap that butt a little bit, get her to go around. Back her up. Back her up. Move that shoulder. Move that shoulder. Good girl. Come through. Last time. Move. Drive that shoulder. Look through here. Ask her to come through. Drive her. Drive her. See, she sees the camera and sees all these logs and says, "Oh, that's tough." I'm asking her, "Don't push on me." See, she wants to push that shoulder right there, so I'm going to have to get a little bit clearer. I'm going to push her eye and say, "Get that shoulder off me, get that shoulder off me, drive forward." There. Slow down. Good girl. See, for me, I have to get a lot of these things worked out down here. See how much easier that is. This is my leg. If I was riding her around, she pushes in, I raise my rein, put my leg there behind that shoulder, I want her to respond. I don't want to have to escalate up to a spur. I just want her to move easy. Now I'm going to bring her in. I'm going to turn her. I'm going to move that shoulder. Get her perpendicular to the fence. Get her to understand. Get her nose my way. Drive her body away. Right there's a step. I'm going to pet her. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Let me tip her nose my way and get her shoulder off of me. See, she has a tendency to really push those shoulders in. Gotta get her off of me. Back her up, move her over, get her set up. See, she's set up the wrong way there. And I've got to get her to understand she can bring her head my way. I want to tap her about where my leg would go. I'm going to keep going. See, she wants to say hello to the camera, and I have to put some pressure on her. Now I'm going to ask her to go. There's a step. There's a step. There's a step. Let's get it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's ugly, but who cares? We got it. That'll get much better in the future. You got to take your time. I'm going to raise my energy and ask her to step over. There's 1. There's 2. Beautiful. Good girl. Good girl. She actually has a giraffe texture to her mane and some big feet. But she's a beautiful caramel color, hence Carmelita. Yes, you're a good girl, aren't you? She's going, but you make me work a lot, and I don't like it. So if I get things good right now, I might just do 1 or 2 times each way. The other thing we need to be able to have this horse do very fluidly is if I pick her up and I ask her to bend, I want it to be like butter. And she's getting very good at this now. I'm going to pick her up, slide, tip her nose out, bring it up here towards my elbow. Good. No bite in the stirrup. So that's getting much better. I'm going to ask her to drop her nose here without backing up. That's getting better. Good girl. I want to raise her head up a little bit and ask her to drop her nose. So I'm just kind of rolling my hand on that halter, right? There. I'm not going to let go when she's moving. My body hasn't changed to tell her to move. I'm saying, give me your nose. And that's good enough for this second. That's a work in progress. She's getting much better at it. I'm going to pick up my rein, slide my hand, tip her nose out, and bring it to my elbow. See, she's resistant right there. So I hold, might squeeze my hand a little bit. And she got right there, she got off my hand. I let that go immediately. If you haul on that rein, they're just going to brace their head and their neck up. If you pull on them, they're just going to brace up. So when I started with her, she was a little resistant. So when I started with her, if I got that, I let go and rubbed her. Now I pick up, I tip her nose. I want to bring her to my elbow. See right there, she's a little resistant. Right there, she's resistant. I'm going to squeeze my hand. She got off me. I'm going to squeeze my hand. There, she gave all the way, and that was beautiful. No eat in the stirrup. She's a good girl. She is a good girl. She is a good girl. Now, what I'm not going to do is get in here, get on this horse and go flying around in a walk, trot, and canter, or, trying to see how much canter I can get out of her. I can get her to canter, that's not an issue. It's, let's start shaping her up let's start balancing her up at the walk and the trot. Getting her fluid, getting that shoulder relaxed, the ribs relaxed, the neck relaxed. Getting her to say yes more often with her face. Getting flexion started. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do a little riding and a little exercising with her. And like I said, this will be my second time riding this horse. And she's got to, you know, just start working on her balance. So one of the things she has a tendency to do is move a little bit when you get on. So that's one of the main things that I'm working on, getting her to stand still when you step up here. See right there, she wants to move, so I don't stop. I don't try to get on when she's moving. I want her to stand still. Good girl. Now I'm going to take that pressure off right there and say good girl, and not try to rush a mount. The last thing you want to do is be throwing your leg over on a horse that's walking away. About 80% of accidents with horses happen during mounting and dismounting. These people are off balance, they get hurt. Good girl. See, I keep that nose bent. Now this isn't one of my saddles, so these stirrups don't quite fit my feet, but they'll do. Now I'm just gonna have her settle. Good girl. Do not eat my boot. She's a Mustang. Do not eat my boot. Now I'm gonna pick her up and tip her nose and bend her this way. Would you stop? She's protesting her having to work this morning. Stop. And I don't want her just walking off. I want her, if I pick up this rein, so right there she started to walk off, so I can just pick that rein up. Slide my hand, tip her nose out. I'm going to close my fingers. 1, 2, 3. By the time I get my little finger closed, and I just informed her not to go nipping my chaps. If I close that little finger, I want it to be to my hip by the time her head comes back, or her to beat my hand back. I'm going to feed my rein over, reach down, tip that nose before she can walk off. And I'm going to correct her right there with a little bump. She's trying to nibble, and that's not acceptable. She said I would like to talk to the camera. Now I'm just going to make a little circle with her head bent right here. I'm going to put my right leg into play, and then I'm going to shift my weight and stop her and bend her head and correct her right there. Correct her right there. Good girl. Let that rein go. I'm going to tip her nose. I'm going to bend her. I'm going to bump my left leg on her a little bit. Ask her to just circle around for a second and not pull on me. Shift my weight, stop the hip, and let her go. Good girl. Good girl. No, you don't get to eat grass. So she's kind of fidgety. She likes to play. She likes to eat. She's a young horse. That's why if you put too much pressure on some of these young horses, they get a little fried. Now I'll take a turn each way, just get some forward out of her, and then I'm going to start putting her to work. Yes, ma'am. Now I want to look out ahead of her, about 3 panels ahead. Raise this rein, bump her around. Change my rein and my leg. She's already starting to get softer in my hand from my first ride. Now Charlotte gets out here and works on this stuff with her after we do a lesson. She's doing a great job. I just pick up on that rein, work my fingers, don't pull on her, just bump her with my leg. Now right here you can see this right shoulder, if I just let my leg off of her, she'll just end up in the center of the arena. So this is where I'm going to put her to work. I'm going to say, get your shoulder off my leg and ride forward. I'm going to tell her where we need to be to get along. Pick up on her, bump her with my legs, get her to give. She pushed on my right leg. I'm going to say, get off my right leg, get off my rein, get off my right leg. See, she's pushing. She's trying not to go forward. She's trying to go into my right leg. And I'm saying, no, that's not going to work for me. Bump here. She got straightened out. I'm going to let her go. I'm going to pick her up, move her over, and let her go. Pick her up, soften her up, move her over, and let her go. Good girl. Now, I'm going to reach down this rein, lift up that shoulder, look where I want to go. Reach down this rein, shift. Ask her to go this way. Pick up on her. Drop that nose. Let her go. I'm going to pick up on her. Break her at the pole. Use my legs right there. Let her go. Pick her up. Good girl. Pick her up. She's fighting me right there. I'm going to bump her with my legs. Say, get off my hands. Work my hands. Get her soft right there. Let her go. Bring her into the middle. Change my body. I'm going to turn her this way. Turn my handlebars. Turn my handlebars. Shift my weight. Ask her to drive around. Now what I am not doing with this horse, stop riding. What I'm not doing with this horse is riding her like a trained riding horse. You can ride this horse. You can get away with a lot of stuff, but she's not quite balanced. So if we want to take her to that next level and beyond, we've got to teach her now to balance up to where she's not pushing the shoulders, not pushing her nose one way or shoulder in or rib cage in or walk off when I'm not asking her to walk off. So you might see me riding this horse and I'm halfway hanging off this saddle. Well, that's so I stop the rear end from spinning around. I'm moving that shoulder off. This rein may be up here and this rein may be right here at the withers. So I am not in a classical riding position. Because if you got your hands narrow together here, that horse's head can go all over the place. You're not really training that horse to hold a posture. We're trying to work on her balance, not ride her like a trained riding horse. So that's important. Walk, trot, and canter can be counterproductive if your horse is out of balance. You can teach them to catch the wrong lead. They drop that shoulder in, they're going to catch the wrong lead. You can teach them to push on you harder. And I'm teaching her to get off me. And you can see she's still fidgety. It doesn't matter. That stuff goes away with confidence, balance, calm mind. Right, Missy? Okay. And she says, I would like to eat some grass. No, you're not going to. Now, let me get her back to work a little bit. Pick up, get her back to work. So I've ridden with a lot of people, learned a lot of exercises over the years. Some of those exercises are just irreplaceable. You can't live without them. One of them is that movement of the shoulder. So if I'm working in a circle, and I pick up this inside rein a little bit, hold that shoulder up. And this hand can be right out here to help my inside leg. If I want to squeeze this rein and bump her with my leg at the same time, I can get her moving that shoulder and rib cage. Now I can put my right leg, my outside leg into play, and now my inside leg goes out. And all the time my balance is on the outside of her spine. I'm holding that hip from flipping around. If you lean in, her hip will flip right around. Now I'm asking her to bump around in a circle. And out. So I've learned this from some people or someone, and I'm teaching people how to do this. So we're going to have a lot better balanced horses in the future. Now I'm going to change her right here. She kept her face soft in the change. Now I'm going to bump around. Now her right side's the pushy side. So you'll see my right leg's active while my left leg's active. If I just bump her with my left leg, she pushes that shoulder right in. I may just bump her together in this circle. Then I'll take my left leg off, look diagonally, and drive that shoulder. Drive that shoulder. I may have to lift her up a little bit, really squeeze this left hand to get that shoulder moving off my leg. There we go. Now I'll bump her back around. Bump her forward. Pick her up. Look diagonally. Bump her. See, she loses that forward, and then she loses that ability to bend. There. Good girl. So I've got a lot more work to do on the right side with the right brain than I do on the left. But that's okay. We'll switch. I'll bump her with both legs right there to keep her soft in the turn. And you'll see right here, if I do this, she flows pretty much like butter. Come around. Now I'm going to go through the middle here, bump her, work with her hands, keep her nose down and soft, change her. Now I'll pick up, work my, she lost her forward, so I got to get her forward going. Ask that shoulder to move. I got to get on that leg a little bit more. She's resistant. Pick up. Work my right hand a little bit because she pushes on my hand with her nose. See, she's dropping her weight to that inside shoulder, and I got to get her lifting that up, crossing over. There we go. Good girl. Now I'm just going to walk her around a little bit. Ask her to drop her nose. Good girl. Boy, she's dropping in pretty good. So now, I'm going to bend her. I'm going to drive her forward off of this leg. I'm going to turn her. I'm going to drop her nose in and drive her forward with her head bent here. Side. So right there I'm squeezing. See, I don't pull on this horse a bunch. I close my hand. There. Now I'm going to drive her forward softly. And I'll bend her again and shift my weight. Not pooping, man. And then I'll turn her and get her going that way again. And then bring her forward. And she's soft in my hands there. Pick her up a little bit. She's soft in my hands. What I'm teaching her with that movement is that she can go forward with her neck flexed. And then when she gets in front, her neck's flexed vertically. Let's pick her up right here. So when I turn, you're not going to see me drag their face around, because watch what happens. See, she steps on that inside front. I'm trying to get her to lift her shoulders, not step on them and put all her weight on them. Then she doesn't have any ability to make a quick movement or athletic movement in another direction. So I'm going to lift this shoulder right here. I may even move her shoulder over. Now I'm going to look in my turn my body, put my outside leg into play, and her hind end drives that front end through. Good. I'm going to work her right here. Now I'm going to flex her to the inside, drop my weight way over, flex her, drive her forward. See right there, she likes to drive that right shoulder in. There, she lifted it up and went straight. Good. Straighten her out. Shift my weight, get way over here. Bump her forward. Bump her forward. Good. Shift. Shift. Ah, get off my shoulder, get off my shoulder. Good girl. Ride her forward. And she's soft in my hands right there. So that's what I'm looking for. Now she said, I would like to leave now. That's enough. So we will, those are just a couple exercises. There's a million exercises that are beneficial to softening this horse up. So I'm going to work a few loose rein, collected rein transitions at the walk. Each time I'm going to pick this horse up. What I mean by that, I'm going to pick her up, I'm going to lift my reins up and ask her to break at the pole. I'm going to bump my legs at her, right by at her girth line, and get her to drop in and soften to my hands. Right there. Wait for it. Right there. And then I'm going to let go. And I'm going to rub her. But keep my legs working. Drive her forward up into it. I don't want a change of speed or gait. I just want her to lift herself up and drop her face in. So if I reach in here, bring my arms up, break her at the pole, drop her nose in. See, she wants to resist and go into my right leg there. So my right leg is active. My left leg I'm actually opening up a little bit, giving her that direction. Now she's soft there, I'll let her go. Good girl. Then we'll go back. I want to pick her up, bump her. She just dropped right in real quick. Another thing I can do, I can get these nice loose reins. I can barely put any pressure on. I can just noodle her reins and see how light it can be to get her off that bit. Just noodle her. There. Pick her up. Noodle her. Noodle her. Just wiggle them a little bit. Drive her forward, but wiggle. And a lot of times that's even better than squeezing your hands. And then she starts finding that spot where when that bit just comes in contact with her a little bit with her lips, I noodle them and she'll get off of it. Thinking, and I'm going to bump her with my legs still. There, she got off of it. You don't have to pull, fight them and put tie downs on them and all this other stuff if you do the work. It says if I fake you out enough, So I gotta say, let's go, young lady. You are not gonna do that to me. So I'm gonna work those transitions to the left real quick. Now I'm gonna pick her up, and she just about immediately comes into my hands right there. I'm gonna pick her up. Now, my position here, is this a proper riding position? No, my hands are way high. All I'm doing is teaching this horse to lift her neck and break at the pole. So later on, I want to be able to just pick that hand up and have her drop in with the use of my leg. And we're a ways from there. She's getting it. There we go. But we have to be in better position. I like a little wider posture with my hands. I lift up, drive her right there, and she breaks. That's what I'm looking for. Pick up, lift her up, noodle my reins, tickle her, there. She dropped her neck a little bit, but I'm not going to penalize her for that. Now, this time, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to pick her up. I'm going to extend myself up. I'm going to get her in good posture. She doesn't want to get that forward. There. Now we're at a trot. I'm going to pick her up at the trot. Get her off my leg. Get her off my leg. There. Good girl. Bump her, pick her up. Good girl. So we're getting the same work at the walk, now at the trot. Good girl. Come on. What are you huffing and puffing for, young lady? Good girl. Good girl. I see I picked her up and kept her there as I transitioned down into the walk. Our transitions are a little sticky. From walk to trot. It takes you a little bit too much effort to get her up into the trot right now. 10 rides from now. Shape her up right here. I'm gonna put my right leg forward and bump shape her up, and you're going to see her trot get more forward and more fluid. Now she's on her front end right there, so I got to lift that front end up. She started getting out of control. That's better. Come on. That's better. Good girl. Good girl. Now I'm going to stop riding right here. And keep that shoulder raised up for a minute. Keep her going at the trot. She pushed, so I got to balance her back up before I can let her come down. Work it, bump her, there. Oh, she pushed again, there. Good girl. She's going, oh my God. Good girl. Bump her. Boy, look how nice she came into my hands right there, and that when I ask. So that's going to get quicker and definitely smoother as time goes on. Shape her. I'm going to bump her up into a trot. I'm going to extend my seat up. I'm bumping her not to get her to go, but to keep her soft in my hands. My seat should tell her to rise up. Now she's a little dull to that, so I've got to convince her. See, she found the bit right there and got off of it. I'm saying, hey, get off of it. Get off of it. Good girl. I'm going to bend her nose about 15-20 degrees in when she's driving forward to get her softer on my hands. To get her off that leg. See right there. See that 15 degrees? She can't push forward as much, but then she loses her balance. She loses her forward, so I got to counter that with my weight slightly on the outside. Good girl. Good girl. Pick her up. Get her off the front end. Good girl. Driver. Driver. I'm driving her now. Get her off this leg right here. Good girl. Wrong one. There we go. So at the canter, she just throws her head left and right, throws her shoulder in. So I've got to get those same kinds of subtle breaks right there. Pick her up. Move that shoulder. Ask her to get off my hands. Get her 15 degrees in. There. Get her in. Right there. Hang on. Push. Get her balance. Get her balance. Balance her. Drive her. Now she's getting softer at the trot. Woo! So we got a lot of work to do at the walk and the trot before her canter is going to get anywhere acceptable for me, where she's light and soft, picking that face up, because she gets in a canter, her head does this and throws her shoulder in and out, so she's off balance a lot. She's always looking for the next place to go. So we've got to get her confident and soft. Okay, right there at the walk. Look how much better her headset is at the walk. Now if I can lift her up and balance her, that's much better. She held that posture. So a little work at the canter helps her down at the walk. She says, oh, this is much easier. Hey, so a stop. Good girl. So I want to get her soft. Right here. Bump her. Don't want her backing up yet. Just want her balanced. Now I'm going to change my seat. I'm saying, hey, feel the difference in my seat. There's 1 step, there's 2 steps, there's 3 steps, there's 4 steps. Stop my seat. Get her back balanced. Noodle her. Just soften her. The more you pull, the more she has an opportunity to push. There. Change my seat. She's pushing on me. I'm going to noodle her. Keep my seat. Get her balanced. Change my seat. 1. I'm going to help her right here. 1, 2. Good girl. Very good. We're coming to the end here. Let's see if I can get a leg yield or a side pass here. Let's see if I'll get her off my leg. Pretty good. The left side's easy. I'm going to change her bend slightly. Work that rein, bump her back down in a posture, put my leg back, ask her to move. See that right side? It's kind of dull. There. See, she wants to back up. I got to hold that left hand, keep that shoulder from dropping. See, that side is sticky. That, drive forward. There. So we kind of did a half arc there. So you can see this right side needs quite a bit of work. But that's okay, because this horse is going to be alive for a long time. I don't think Charlotte's going to send her anywhere anytime soon. She's doing great. Like I said, this is the second time I've been up on this horse. There's so much about her that's there. Now we're just taking her to another level. So she's a beautiful Mustang. This Mustang will be able to do anything anybody ever wants to do with her. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carmelita here in Berthoud, Colorado. If you ever get a chance to come to Colorado and visit me, we're at the ranch, Mustang River Ranch in Longmont, and we do clinics there, you know, small in-house clinics for people from out of state. If you get a group of 3 or 4, we'll do a week-long clinic with you, so come in and just call the number at the end of this video. So take care. Sean Davies, Coloradoreinsman.